Ford magazine. Signing next to Oprah and the Queen. I see my name in shining lights. Different city every night. Alright, okay, I better stop playing that song because I know what's gonna happen if I keep on. I got low volume now. Yeah, hello there, Wesley. How you doing? Hopefully I don't get a copyright strike. I got the volume down low. Hopefully you can't hear it now. Totally forgot about this song being really big and popular at the time. Yeah. I want to show you something, Wesley, if you're still on here. My eyes, I see my name in shining lights. A different city every night. Oh, wine, I swear. The world better prepare when I'm a billionaire. Anyway, so 8 days return to Charleston in the summer. Let me see this. Or have they officially announced it yet? Have they officially announced it yet? That's interesting that they're coming back to Charleston after they went to Huntington, which I should have went to. I wanted Huntington too. Let me see, you said in the summer. I don't see it yet, but okay. But here are some of the. Hey, look, there's a craft beer for AEW World's End. That's funny. I don't like beer that well. Yeah, Vernon Martin, Travis McCoy. I know you probably can hear it, but still, I turned the volume down. Every time I close my eyes, I see my name in shining lights. A different city every night. Oh, I swear the world better prepare. For I'm a billionaire. Sorry, not millionaire. I forgot the lyrics to the song. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Yeah, so fucking mad. Okay, I'll stop. Well, anyway, what was it? It's not official, but it's looking like it's happening since they have been playing the Young Bucks theme at the Coliseum. That's interesting that they keep playing that. Yeah, I got YouTube Premium. That was too loud. Hold on, man. Let me try to find. Let's see if that would. Okay, that turned down just a little. I'm just making sure, you know. Don't have the TV too loud. Adam the Wood, goodbye to my brother. Yeah, goodbye Adam the Woo. Even though it's sad that he's now gone. To me, because what they were saying was he made a video a day before his death, and that's just weird to me. He looked fine. He looked okay as well. How much did it cost? This YouTube Premium Lite cost me $7.99. $7.99, which is good. A better price than the other YouTube Premium, which is $13, I think. Let's see here. Let's see. Oh yeah, here's another Hooters video. Let me find it real quick on the TV. Yeah, let's. Hold on a minute. I'm just bring this up. Hold on. Can you hear that fine? Let me know. Hmm. Sometimes I wish that I went to Hooters before they closed around here. Again, if Hooters listened to their people and also didn't sexually harass people or maybe even assault people too, maybe Hooters would still be in business too. Oh, and not only that, if it wasn't for other restaurants coming to the scene like Tilted Kill or Twin Peaks, maybe Hooters would still be in business. You know, I think they somewhat are still in business, but not around here. That looks like the one in Canal City. Or close to it. Do you have any questions? Huh. Be right back. Yeah, he's wrong way. Bo Vance. Bo Vance. That's my Bo Vance mug. crying foul at Hooters.
Understandably calling out their objectifying marketing, but even the federal government had criticized the company over only hiring women and not allowing men to be employed as waiters. The company responded by this by refusing any mandates and performing a march filled with Hooters girls in Washington. On top of this, there were also some high-profile lawsuits filed over allegations of harassment within
See
the
what I'm
restaurant.
saying?
Hooters
Like,
responded by denying and ultimately settling out of court. Of course, though, this wouldn't be the only lawsuit of this nature being filed against the chain in the coming years. Regardless, the company continued to grow exponentially and internationally. They would open locations in Canada, Mexico, and even as far as Singapore, opening the overseas market for even further expansion. Apparently, Hooters' appeal wasn't exclusive to just America. The company now had over 250 restaurants across 40 states, and by now, one of the original Atlanta investors, Bob Brooks, had bought controlling shares of the corporation. At this point, Hooters was split into two major entities. Hooters of America was the corporate one, which controlled most of the branding and owned a portion of the restaurants and
nice.
employees. This was while Hooters Inc. was the largest franchisee. Brooks had taken control of Hooters of America, and with the brand name in hand, he saw potential to expand beyond the restaurant sector. So, in 2003, Hooters took to the skies. Yeah, this is a real thing. Brooke made a deal with a very small charter airline called Pace Airlines to launch Hooters Air. It was made up of a fleet of mostly old 737-200s and 737-300s. They offered relatively cheap fares targeted to leisure travelers in and out of Myrtle Beach. While the actual real flight attendants wore normal uniforms, each flight did have two Hooters girls on board selling merch and interacting with passengers. While the owl had now taken flight, meanwhile, the main restaurant chain had now over 400 locations, much of them spread around the United States, but also just literally around the world. Hooters was a big brand by this point, one which Brooks still thought he could take even further. In February 2006, Hooters Casino Hotel opened just behind the former Tropicana Resort in Las Vegas. This newly rebranded hotel was offered as a budget option, one that initially wasn't doing all that well, thanks to low interest from families, wealthy travelers, and women, all of which didn't really see the brand as an appealing hotel option in Vegas. That brand sentiment also carried on into the skies, as Hooters Air was also struggling. Low interest from travelers outside of men, rising fuel costs, and lackluster routes all contributed to quarterly losses for the business, and the airline ultimately ceased operation 2 months after the casino opened. The big changes didn't stop there, though.
Yeah.
Just a few months after that, Bob Brooks would pass away, leaving much of the company to his children. The family would continue the expansion efforts of the brand, mainly overseas. However, it became clear that they didn't want to run the company for an extended period of time, and ultimately began accepting bids for an acquisition. And surprisingly,
Hold on,
many
man.
of those bids came.
Again, people, I haven't been to Hooters. I heard of Hooters, but also I have been to a restaurant before. It was called the Tilted Kill, but I don't know. They still got restaurant. I had to look it up real quick here. Let me look it up. The Tilted Killed. Here, I'll show you what I'm talking about here in just one moment. The Tilted. Wait a minute. You mean to tell me it's in Lexington, Kentucky still yet? Damn. I thought they went out of business. To be honest with you, locations. I know there's none in Ohio anymore. I don't think. Let me make sure. Yep, none of them in Ohio. There's one in Kentucky, one in Nevada, which of course is Las Vegas. Okay, one in Lexington, one in Las Vegas, one in Clarksville, Tennessee, one in Killeen, Texas, Laredo, Texas, and Prince George, Virginia. So it's not what it used to be, but still, there you have it. Yeah.
The same couldn't really be said about Hooters. As a more direct competitor, though, Twin Peaks
Yeah, Twin Peaks.
the brand following a waitresses, but done in a warmer, themed environment with a more diverse menu that appealed a bit more to millennials. As a result, Hooters' mainline brand had been slowly declining. Stagnating sales and closing restaurants had only decreased their overall footprint. And following the closure of the casino resort in 2017, it was being reported that Chanticleer Holdings was looking to offload the company in a sale. In 2019, Hooters was acquired by two more private equity firms, Nordbay Capital and Tri-Artisan Capital Advisors. The latter may sound familiar though, as they also own TGI Fridays, which went well. And to make this transaction, and believe me, we've heard this before, they would take out debt to the tune of hundreds of millions of dollars just to purchase the company from another private equity firm. They would then saddle Hooters with all of this debt with the intent to slowly pay it off over time. It's a great strategy, truly devised by the top business minds, and I'm sure it'll pan out just fine. Aside from adding an enormous amount of debt to the company, the new owners vowed to breathe new life into it, as well as expand their foods casual chain. But of course, the following year would see the pandemic and subsequent lockdown measures. Hooters was particularly hit bad, sales dropping nearly 30% and sliding even further by 2021. That year, they posted around $600 million in sales, a significant drop from where they were just a decade prior. While sales did increase by 2023, their number of locations didn't, with just around 290 left in America. While the company was private, as it has always been, the exact financial conditions the chain was in are difficult to fully know for sure. That said, by summer of 2024, the company admitted they were struggling with rising expenses. As a result, they would close 40 restaurants that they called underperforming locations. While rising expenses were certainly a factor, industry observers were quick to identify the other likely root causes of their issues. Mainly with the fact that millennials didn't have a great brand perception of the, let's face it, objectifying chain. And it's not hard to see why most women wouldn't be interested in going. The quality of their food and restaurants subsequently took a big hit as well, with longtime customers noticing, some even giving up on the chain entirely. Again, add on rising labor and supply prices, Hooters began to struggle making good on their hefty debt payments. Even a motorsports team for NASCAR was suing them over unpaid sponsorship fees. As sales continued to slump, liquid cash was running out to meet their increasingly demanding expenses. It was reported that in February 2025, the company may be preparing to file for bankruptcy. And sure enough, on March 31st, 2025, Hooters of America had filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection.
Hold on, man. Let me pause it or mute the video so I can keep on going. Anyways, here's another thing though, too, people. And this is what I think. He's hard, man. And I tell you. So, here's what I think, people. I think Hooters should have sort of. I mean, they tried. Let's just say Hooters tried. And they went on for a long time. However, I never went to Hooters. Okay, real quick here. I never went to Hooters. I went to Tilt the Kilt. You know, see? Looks similar, doesn't it? Except a Scottish theme, you know. To the Kilt Pub and Eatery. But other than that, as for Hooters, haven't been to Hooters. Been to Tilt the Kilt, like I said. I said this before and time again. I've been to this place, just not the place for restaurants, you know. I went to this place though. Hold on, and let me tell you something, people. Real quick here, if you're gonna have a restaurant, don't do anything stupid like sexual harassment or what's another one? I'm trying to think here. Anyway.
Initially, the chain did say they would keep the remaining locations open, The bankruptcy had revealed just how far they had fallen. In total, there were 305 Hooters locations left in the world, though at least 30 of them would close permanently in the months following this. Additionally, their annual sales had fallen to around $678 million, a
Well,
94% decrease since 2009. While initially it wasn't really known what would happen with a seemingly dying corporate brand, in October of 2025, a lifeline was thrown their way.
a
Throughout all this time,
lifeline, huh?
Hoover's largest franchisee, now owned by some of the original founders of the very first one back in Florida,
Hmm.
well, it had survived this whole time operating 22 locations in Illinois and Florida. In fact,
They probably will
Hooters
end up going out of
Hooters Inc.,
business.
which owned these 22 locations, has been
Still,
put on
yeah,
hold
and
for
it's
more
not gonna be what it
operating
used
some
to
of the highest
be.
revenue restaurants in the whole chain.
I mean, the one in
Regardless of
Canal
whether
City
original
now is
founders or not, they
Sheets,
were still
I
just a
think.
franchisee, and they couldn't really control how the
A
brand was being
Sheets gas
marketed to the
station,
chain.
which I know damn well is
So, with
better
some additional funding and other
than
franchisee
a
support,
Hooters,
Hooters Inc. and the original founders had
I
announced that they would be
think.
acquiring back the entire corporate side of the brand out of bankruptcy.
Sheets.
This was a pretty incredible twist,
The
and it was
smaller
rare to see
Buckies.
in which the original founders returned after so long, especially after the
Well,
company had
I
been
guess
through
since
two
we can't have
personal
a
takeovers.
Bucky's, I don't
Then,
know for
for most
sure
people,
yet,
the
even
pros think
though
that the damage hasn't
I
already been
don't
done.
think we'll ever
Aside
get
from
Bucky's
remaining
around here.
lessors to the original Hooters, the new owners have publicly claimed that the chain will now pivot more towards families, toning down the
I don't
ever-pervasive
think that's the
theme
right
of
thing to
uniforms and
do either,
simple
but I
exteriors
guess
like
if,
more modest, with a higher
hmm.
emphasis on quality food, renovated
See,
stores, and
that looks like
walk-ins.
it's near a
The new
mall, so
board of
we know that's
directors
gonna
is
probably
actively
fail
looking to
depending on
attract
what
even more
mall it
veterans
is.
to the restaurants. They claim that their friendly and comfortable sports bar environment, paired with quality
It
chicken
depends
wings,
on the
will make them
mall,
a key brand
too.
going
Like, if it's
forward.
an enclosed
However,
mall,
even this new management
or,
team
well,
admits
I
that
mean,
they
it
won't
doesn't
be
matter which
destroyed
mall it
because of the
is.
perception many have of the brand and its legacy. If anyone's done any research on the company, you'll find many employees speaking up about workplace harassments and even racial discrimination. From a
Hmm.
consumer experience
But that's
perspective,
also
if anyone
not
has
good.
visited a formerly corporate-run Hooters recently, you'd probably find a not very well-reviewed, painfully bland restaurant. Some in pretty bad, even disgusting condition. Now, of course, given that, I also had to try it out. So I drove down to the closest restaurant to me, which is in Niagara Falls. I
Uh-oh.
visited on Monday afternoon during a pretty miserable day weather-wise, so it was no surprise that the restaurant was literally empty. Like, not a single other customer in here with us. Since I brought my parents with me, we all tried something different on the menu. My mom got the quesadilla, which was greasy and not very good. My dad got the Philly cheesesteak, which was a bit better. And Emmy and I both got the classic wings. And you know what? Initially I thought these were actually pretty good. I liked the crunch, and the price wasn't too bad. However, they were drenched in sauce, to the point where I started to dislike them the more I ate. That paired with the pretty bad fried pickles, well, it all gave me a bit of a stomachache. Since this Hooters was
Uh-oh.
attached to a Quality Inn, one which just happened to be under heavy renovation, to use the washroom, we were directed to go through the under-construction hotel, go up a floor, and use the makeshift public restroom that of one of the former guest rooms.
Well, that's
It's not the
not
restaurant's
good.
fault, and I'm sure this is temporary, but it was so funny that I just had to mention it. Weird Niagara Falls location aside, the Hooters as a whole just felt like a tired, boring chain restaurant. One I would never choose to go to over an independently owned pub or something. Especially with this low quality of food, I just didn't really get it. In the end, though, in my opinion, the Hooters restaurant concept is just well out of date in today's society. It's no surprise that the brand, which has been objectifying women for decades, has a bad reputation. And as younger consumers gravitate away from mainline chains like this for both the quality and ethics of their food, I think it is going to be a struggle for the new direction of the company. I can't really foresee a family, at least in masses, saying that they want to go to Hooters for dinner. At a nationwide and even
Well, I mean,
localized
there's
scale, I think that the modern
other
sandwich bar
restaurants
is
too that
something
are
relatable
better,
for the modern
maybe.
generation. A
Maybe
generation
not
that now has
this one, but maybe
families.
Twin
I think there's going to
Peaks,
be weird
maybe. But I haven't
competition.
been to
Last year, I went
Twin
to see
Peaks
Hooters in
yet.
Joe, a
But
place
I've
that
been
had
to
more
this place
restaurants
that
than
I know
Hooters,
damn well is
and
better than Hooters,
that place
maybe.
was closed. And even
That's a big
still,
old
it's not
maybe,
a place
by the
I would
way,
consider
but
going.
I'm not
The only
gonna.
way they got me into one
Only thing I had bad from this place was Scotch eggs. At the time I thought it was horrible. Maybe now I might like it, but still at the time I thought it was horrible. I meant the Scotch eggs. Tilted killed. When it was still in Ohio.
Perhaps with the right social consciousness, innovative restaurant practices, and authentic dealing spaces, Hooters may live to see another 41 years. Thank you so much for watching my work through the last year. With some big projects that I'm working on right now, I'm obviously very excited for next year. If you're new to these videos, please do consider subscribing. Don't forget I also have a second channel, Right Some Traffic. As always though, my name is Jay, and thank you very much for watching.
You know what else I think? I think we need to get to the news part of this video. You hold on, man. I think we need not look at this, but I'm trying to think what other. Let me know if you have any questions. But I highly doubt you're on here this morning, Loretta, because it's still early. It's like 8:06 a.m. where I'm at. But I can invite her. What's it, Loretta Hilton? Which I think she goes on TikTok as this is one weird, Loretta Lynn Hilton. I can't remember. Let me check real quick. TikTok. You know what else I think about TikTok? I think it's alright, though. Still, YouTube's my main goal, and Facebook is still. Log in. It's hard on me. I need to log in. I forgot to log in. I said log in. Why ain't you logging in, you motherfucker? Yeah. You fucking bastard. Don't let me fucking log in. That's weird. Profile. That's weird. Let me look this up. Hold on a minute. Let me try this. Okay, there we go. Finally got to log in that way on the computer. It's here. I think it's under. I don't know. I think it's under this, but I'm not for sure what account it's under. Logged in. Let's see here. Yeah, it's me. Here, I'll show you. Now, TikTok, that I have an app on the. I don't think on Roku do that. I highly doubt it, but if you want to check out me on TikTok, well, there I am. It's EBCV, and this is all lowercase. EBCVtv1 or hashtag EBCVtv. The EBCV is uppercase. The lowercase is TV, you know, like, you know how MTV has the uppercase M, I think, and the lowercase TV. That's how I did it, see. And I made a lot of videos. I got 51 followers, but what's improved that? Whether you like TikTok or not. I'm better at it than still, I think, the one that have a lot of followers, maybe, because most of those, I think, have tell you to do stupid stuff. I don't, unless it was gambling. You know, that's the only stupid stuff I ever done on here, I think. And maybe some food reviews that are actual edible food reviews, you know, instead of like, I don't know, doing something really crazy stupid on TikTok, like like someone eating unedible, inedible, stupid, crazy shit. Like, I'm not gonna say it on here, but anyway, you get the point here. And look, there's the one from the pickle eating contest. Damn, I found. Oh, wait a minute, that's not the pickle eating contest one. I thought that was. Oh, here's the pickle eating contest one. Yep, there's me. Probably thinking I'm gonna win, but which I didn't win, but still, I know I don't have to. Let me check if Roku has TikTok real quick. What's it? I highly doubt they got TikTok on here. They got a documentary on it. That's not what I was looking for. Fuck you. Fuck you so hard. Anyway, what's I want to check the news, but I don't know which news to check for you. WSAZ. Let's look at WSAZ, see what news we got here. What's here? Kentucky lottery, free winning Powerball tickets totaling 200,000 sold in Kentucky. First time I bought a well, here's the thing. I thought I was going to a liquor store to buy pop and a lottery ticket, but I ended up buying just pop at the liquor store. Don't worry, it was non-alcoholic pop. It was non-alcoholic. Don't worry, it wasn't the Alco Pops. But anyway, in Kentucky, I guess that the liquor store didn't even know what a liquor store. I don't know if this is legal or illegal, but apparently at that liquor store they didn't have the Kentucky lottery. And then I asked the woman in there, so does Kentucky have a lottery or is it just the other stuff? And she said, no, we got all types of stuff. We got the, the casino, which is down the road, which is Sandy's, which I've been to, by the way, and it's nice. Nicer than Mardi Gras. Sandy's Racing and Gaming. Which, by the way, they don't have the racing, I don't think, up yet. I don't know. I had to check real quick. Let me check. Sandy's Racing and Gaming. That reminds me of something. Hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. I'm trying. Let me go back to YouTube or. And then play like a radio thing.
Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Yui Eats. I'm Yui, and I am right now in, let me show you, I am in the beautiful, well, not the Upper West Side, this is Morningside Heights, I believe, the neighborhood right by Columbia University. It's basically right above the Upper West Side, but right below Harlem. So this is Morningside Heights, and it's a beautiful neighborhood, and I used to live not too far from here, like maybe about 10 or 15 blocks from here, but today I am here to review a restaurant that I've walked by literally like zillions of times when I used to live in New York and never set foot inside. The famous Tom's Restaurant. And now many of you will recognize this sign immediately if you're in the know. This is the restaurant where they filmed Seinfeld. Well, at least they showed the outside. I don't think the inside where they filmed anything. I think they had a separate set for that. But so yeah, they had a separate set, I believe, for the inside of the restaurant from Seinfeld. But they always showed the outside, in between shots and episodes of Seinfeld. And yeah, this is where Jerry and George and Elaine and Kramer would hang out every episode. Now, like I said, I used to live not too far from here, in West Harlem, and I would come down here and hang out a decent amount. And I've walked by this place so many times, and I always knew it was famous. And I've always been curious about trying it, and I never have. I've heard some mixed reviews. Some people say it's
actually a pretty solid diner, and some people say it's pretty overrated and kind of a tourist trap. But I guess let's find out. I mean, I've always wanted to try it, and there's no better day than today. And it's actually Christmas Eve, so I got my Christmas Eve scarf here. On Christmas